The foundation of everything is budgeting. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. That's what I always tell my clients.
At some point, I feel like, okay, I need to really start investing because retirement is at a certain age. I want a certain amount of money at a certain time. And now this is where it gets really confusing for me. And I think for a lot of people.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to say it's easier than you think, but everything really goes down to how much money you really want to spend, later in life. If you say, well, I do spend about $2,000-3,000 a month, let's just call it $3,000. When we retire, what we want to do is to replace our lifestyle. And so the question that I always ask is, do you feel comfortable with the lifestyle that you have right now? And they're like, let's just say that you say, yes, I feel fine, spending $3,000 right now. So what we do as financial planners is that we first kind of inflate what would it be $3,000 monthly in the future. That's the first number that we need to find out, which is $36,000 a year. What would it be in the future? When is the future? We have to do a lot of hypotheticals because we actually can tell you when you might be able to become financially independent. Financial independence is this term where, you don't necessarily have to retire, but then you just stop worrying about making money, and so because you already reached that milestone. So then we have this number, which is the new number, and we say, well, is there any income that we will get when we retire, right? So assuming that we have Social Security, let's just say that is $1,500 a month. Then we say, okay, well, we'll have in the future $1,500, and then we have the need of $4,000. Now we have to come up with that gap of $2,500 a month. How are we going to come up with this gap? We're going to cover this gap with a combination of investments and also savings account. And so our job is to see, okay, well, this new value, we have to replace $2,500 monthly for the rest of his life. So if he retires at 65 and he lives to 90, that is going to be 25 years of monthly income that we need to replace. What is the final value of that amount? And then we have this amount, and then we do a discount of today, how much money we have to contribute today. That's how we do it. That's why this number is very different for everybody. There's always this balance, and that's why you need someone to kind of help you with this balance and tell you, okay, well, this is a percentage right now that you're spending on transportation. That's okay. This is the percentage that you're spending on housing. That's okay. But this is a percentage that you're spending on going out and dinners or fun or all these different things. Maybe this is too much, right? So then we find within your own budget opportunities and on how to save a little bit of money.
Let's say that I'm happy with my lifestyle now. Is it pretty on par that there are enough avenues to invest in where I would have the same lifestyle filling in those gaps upon retirement? Or do I usually have to do something else? Like maybe even make a little bit more money, or how would that work?
Yeah. So, financial planning, it's what we call it's a journey, right? And so it really, what the advice that I might give you now might change in 5 or 10 years. Also, your circumstances may change, right? You may inherit money, you may inherit a property, you may inherit all these different things. And so all that really goes into the mix of, okay, well, now we have a property that is paid for, and this is going to give us some rent. Maybe this is going to give us like $1,000. Now we only have to do this, or maybe we have this money that we received. What are we going to do with it? Maybe we can buy, let's say, a property that's an investment income property, right? So there's just different ways. Is it possible? It's possible. How much? I will need to do a little bit of a calculation and see, for example, if it's maybe $500 a month, right? $600 a month. What amount is a month? Is it 300? Is it 100? Right? And so over what period of time? When you do it in your 20s or in your 30s, it's way easier than when you're trying to do this in your 50s, because now you're just playing catch up, right? It's like having this map now and starting to draft that route. It's much easier to course correct anything that you haven't done.
What are the avenues for investing?
So I will classify it on tax defer, tax free, and taxable accounts. So what is tax defer? Tax defer accounts are the accounts that you have not paid taxes on, or the taxes are being deferred. So think of your traditional 401k, think of your traditional IRA, some pensions. These are for people who are in a little bit of a higher tax income or income bracket. And so what they want is that they want to put their income or their earnings away somewhere, and for that money not to be taxed now, to be taxed later. The tax-free are Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks, health savings accounts, we call them for short HSAs, and 529s. Those are the college plans. Now, these accounts are very special. This is where it really makes a big difference to put your money in the right way and to align your goals with this right account. And then we'll go into the taxable accounts. The taxable accounts are what a lot of people call brokerage accounts, taxable accounts, individual joint accounts. These are the normal accounts that you just, there is not a specific tax benefit per se on these accounts, but this is the money that you put perhaps after you exhaust your other options. And so now you're able to invest in all sort of things. What can I invest on? This is a question that some people ask. Well, you can invest in equities, which means like stocks. You can invest in bonds, which is sort of like an IOU. I'm Coca-Cola. I'm trying to expand my operations. I'm issuing bonds, so that's the issuer, and then you, the client, is going to buy this IOU for a certain amount of time. Let's say 5 years. Every 6 months, you get an amount of money, and then at the end of the 5 years, you get your principal insured by the issuer. Now, then you have your other alternative investments. We have like real estate. Those are REITs. And REITs are funds that actually in the last 15 years they've been doing very well. That stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, sort of investing in a lot of different real estate projects, new developments, but also like an old folks homes, for example. That can be also another thing that they do. They invest in different things, also in commodities, right? So investing in things like futures on fruits and vegetables, that can be one, right? In metals, that can be those for commodities. And then the last one is things like cryptocurrency. Now we've been hearing how it has kind of gone down in value, but that's another alternative investment. So there's all the different investments. Now, they're not just linked to your brokerage account. You can also invest in all these different investments in your other portfolios. But this is the catch. Each different investment is going to be aligned with a different type of account, whether it's tax deferred, tax-free, or taxable. And this is when it gets complicated. That's why the best is really to talk to a specialist, to create that plan, follow the plan.
With a larger budget, there's wealth management to manage portfolios. But could somebody, we'll say like at age 32 with like a modest income, I don't know, we'll say $45,000, just maybe like a national average, I don't know. Is that enough to start investing in a portfolio?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've had people who are interested about investing since they're working like a summer job. They're 18, they don't have any expenses, but they have extra $5,000 a year, right? So again, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep.
I always like to know why things cost what they do. So for a financial advisor to say, I think I'm worth $150 an hour, where is that number coming from and what's going into that?
That's a great question. Pricing is one of those things. So I remember taking this one class about pricing and marketing, and that was in San Diego State. And it's one of those things that you put out there and you can never sort of like take back, right? So once that you kind of set a price, is one of those things that it just kind of sinks into someone's mind. There's a lot of ththings that go into it. One of them is kind of like the going rate, like how much is everybody else charging. That's a good estimate already, because out of the like people in the field of financial planning, for example, domestic ones, I don't know of anyone charging less than $150 to $200. Out of the people who specialize, who have another specialty like myself, who just specialize in cross-border planning, that's another specialty. It might be very easy sometimes for us to come up with an advice, but maybe it took 15 years to really learn what I may be able to tell you in 15 minutes. So it's going rate, your experience, and also also the change that you can make in someone's life. You invest $200 in yourself, like maybe talking to someone for an hour, and once you monetize that over time, that can actually be thousands of dollars, because we're at the end of the day, we like to just save our clients and make our clients money. And for a financial plan that we might charge $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in 1 year, some people are saving $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. So then you're like, okay, I guess that then it was worth it.
We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for answering all of our questions.
Of course, my pleasure.